On today's show, Robby, Kalland of CBS Sports is back for the first of our three Eastern Conference divisions. It's the Central Division. It's a deep dive, and it's coming up right now.
You are Locked On Hawks, your daily Atlanta Hawks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Locked On Hawks podcast. I am your host, Brad Rowland, coming to you here in early October. And I want to encourage you at the top of the podcast, as I always do, to make Locked On Hawks your first listen each and every day. Check us out and subscribe to the show anywhere you get your podcasts. We are on Apple and Spotify. We are also on YouTube. So please like this video, leave a comment, leave a rating, leave a review, and definitely tell your friends about the show as well. As a reminder, if you missed it earlier in October, I am currently traveling. So this was a previously recorded episode breaking down the Central Division, the first of our three Eastern Conference Division previews with my friend Robby, Kalland of CBS Sports. So give us some grace if anything has changed since then, but it's a pre-record. Keep that in mind and stay tuned. Here we go with the Central Division and a deep dive into the five teams there. I'm joined again by my good friend Robby, Kalland of CBS Sports to discuss the interesting Central Division of the Eastern Conference. It does feature the team projected to win the East by many people. And that team, Robby, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have friends that are Cleveland Cavaliers fans. One very close friend that's a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. Interesting team. They obviously won 64 games last year, and it really wasn't a fluke. The underlying stuff was really good too. Like, they were awesome. And then the playoffs happened. We're going to not do the playoff thing with Cleveland on this podcast because guess what, everybody? This is not a
regular season win total
show. But their number at FanDuel is 56.5 wins. And that is an 8-win drop from last year. And the roster didn't change very much. In fact, they add Lonzo Ball. They add Larry Nance Jr., the God. Love you, Larry. They add Tyrese Proctor. They lose Ty Jerome, who was awesome last year, to be fair. And Isaac Okoro, who's fine, and Tristan Thompson. But you just gave a visual on YouTube for people that are not watching.
I did.
Where we leaning here with the Cavs?
Yeah, it's over. I've been on the over on the Cavs for a few years now. It's gone sometimes well, sometimes poorly. Last year was great. Obviously,
cruise control last year. Rocking chair over for Robby.
Breezy. But yeah, I mean, look, like you mentioned it, like, is Ty Jerome an 8-win player? No. The East got easier in theory, given that Boston won't be as good. Milwaukee won't be as good. Indiana won't be as good. Those are two teams they're guaranteed to play 4 times each.
Now, hey,
I don't remember if they play Boston 4 times or not. But
who'll be better than the Eastern Conference this year?
The Atlanta Hawks.
The Atlanta Hawks will be Robby, but we'll save that for later. Just saying. I'm with you, though. You are right. The East is worse.
But
there's no question.
The East is worse as a whole at the very top, which is where the Cavs exist. Like, I think you can make an argument that there are some teams in the middle that are very interesting and going to have a chance. I think there's more of a chance for some of those teams that want to be in that 3 seed, 4 seed. I think that's going to be a really interesting race. But your top 2 should be Cleveland and New York. Like, that should be what the top of the East looks like. I just don't see, like you said, this wasn't like a fluke 64-win team. No. This is a team that was honestly on a much higher, like, they were on a higher pace and kind of cruised late a little bit.
Yeah, they had no pressure to win late. They also, I mean, not the only one, but if you want to make an argument against them, they were pretty healthy. Like, they have 4. Yeah. Look, they had 4 top guys, right? Yeah. Jared Allen's kind of 4. He's clearly 4 of 4, but Jared Allen's good. Like, no question about it. They have 4, and they all played 71 games or more.
Right.
If you want to say one of those guys gets hurt this year just by the law of averages,
sure,
probably, maybe. But they also, they have a full year of DeAndre Hunter, who Hawks fans are split still. But Hunter is better than what they had. He's better than what he's replacing, and he's now there for the full season. And, Larry Nance is a big upgrade on Tristan Thompson in 2025. That helps. Okoro's fine. So, yeah, I mean, I like this
they moved Okoro for Lonzo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They lose Okoro, and he's a fine player. They lose him. But Lonzo didn't play a lot last year. But if Lonzo's playing, I think he's better.
Lonzo can play, I agree. At least for what they need specifically.
On a per minute basis, I think he's the better player. It's just whether he plays or not.
Correct.
But no, I'm probably a little bit less enthusiastic than you, but I do like the over on Cleveland. This is a proven team in terms of winning games from October to April. Like they just win games.
I mean, like, I'll be honest, like, I look at Kenny Atkinson the way I looked at Bud for years in Milwaukee. Like,
very
he's going
similar.
to get them to win regular season games. They're going to win division games. He knows what the formula is. He coached under Bud for long enough, coached under Steve Kerr. Like, he knows what the formula is for regular season success. Now, they've got to figure out how to crack the playoff code, but that's not what we're talking about here. That doesn't matter. And I think that factors into this win total, as dumb as that seems. I think people are like, oh, well, they flamed out in the playoffs again. It's like, that doesn't matter. That's not what we're betting on here.
It does not. One thing I mentioned before that I didn't mention, I just reminded myself of, they do have 2 injuries already. Mm-hmm. Darius Garland is already hurt. Yeah. He'll be back pretty soon, but had toe surgery. And then Max Strus is already hurt. Yeah. So this number came down. I was actually remembering now in my mind I felt like this number was higher, and it was. The number came down. I think only 1 or 2 wins since it opened, but I think because of that little discount, I would lean over. If you made this number higher because of the already injury stuff, I'm not eager to play this, honestly. Yeah. I think you probably like it more than me based on our conversation. But I would not bet the under on the Cavs. Like this is a 60-win level team. Mm-hmm. And again, the way they play, the fact that they can withstand Garland being out, because Mitchell, as long as they have one of Garland and Mitchell, they're going to be good on offense, like pretty much clearly. Like we've seen that. They shoot the heck out of the ball. I'm a Dean Wade guy.
I think Mobley's just really good in getting
Mobley's
better.
Awesome. Yeah,
like last year was a kind of a break. That was kind of one of the things they wanted Kenny Atkinson in there for, is like, how do we make Mobley more of a part of what we're doing on offense? And he did that. And so, yeah, some of this is just, I trust Kenny to get the most out of these guys. And I think there is plenty of motivation in Cleveland to be good again and figure out how to get into the playoffs in good position to have a chance. And
you want the 1 seed, obviously. It matters. They're projected to be comfortably the 1 seed. We'll see if that's actually comfortable, but they are going to want to get it. So if they need to late to push for it, I think they probably will. They do want the 1 seed, so that might come into play later on. A lot of people can't even name their financial accounts or even what they are worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. If you have the full picture, you actually leave money on the table. And that is why Monarch Money should be coming into your life. It's the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface, either on your laptop or on your phone. And Monarch is built for people like me with busy lives, quite honestly. If you've been putting off organizing your finances for a long time, Monarch is definitely for you. They do the heavy lifting for you at Monarch Money. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet yourself. For me, I linked all my accounts together to Monarch Money and immediately spied some easy costs to get rid of. Cancel those commitments alone, saving money each and every month. You can maximize your investments, increase your savings rates, easily review your finances with your financial advisor, even with your partner, and generally keep a clear review of your financial health, both in the short term and in the long term. Do not let a financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com, and use that code LOCKEDONNBA. Elsewhere in the Central Division, the Detroit Pistons are number 2 in the division after a breakout year a season ago. Their number at FanDuel is 46.5 wins. Last year, they won 44 games, which was, again, a surprising step forward. They were really good at times. That was actually right in line with what they should have been by the underlying data, too. Like, there wasn't a fluke 44 that they earned it. They were pretty good. They were competitive in the playoffs, too, which probably helps their perception. They did have a bit of a roster overhaul, kind of sneakily. Number one, which is weird to say, Malik Beasley was awesome last year.
Yes.
Played all 82 games.
Yep. Shot
the heck out of the ball all year long. He's not going to be back. Obviously, we can kind of talk about why, but he's not going to be back. And they also flip Dennis Schroeder. They lose Dennis Schroeder. They lose Tim Hardaway Jr., Simone Fontecchio. They bring in Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson, who are real guys, real rotation players. They get Jaden Ivey back after he missed a lot of time last year. Yep. But like, it seems like the consensus seems to be, and I wonder what you think about this, like that they kind of are similar to last year in roster quality. And I want to know, do you think they're better, worse,
I don't think they're better.
I think they're worse, personally.
I
think Beasley's underrated.
Beasley was
how
really
good he was. Yeah.
Beasley was fantastic. I don't think they replaced him. Schroeder was really good for them when he got there. Obviously, Dennis had a little bit of a cross country journey all season where he was.
Dennis does that. I feel like he'll go somewhere and he's like bad, and then he'll go to the next place and he's totally fine again.
He was awesome in Brooklyn. He was fine in Golden State. He ended up in Utah as part of the Jimmy trade. Utah cuts him. He ends up in Detroit because Utah has no. Dennis was like good all year last year.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think they're better. I will say this: I think Cade Cunningham is going to be. We did our CBS top 100 players, which God, what a miserable exercise that is. I know y'all did it recently.
We did it. It was not a lot of fun to go through.
It is awful to do. I hated every second of it. I had Cade as now we took out all the injured guys, so we didn't vote on like Tatum and Halliburton and those guys. I had Cade in my top 10.
So I mean that's not crazy after last year.
Like felt high, but I'm like, I'm kind of all in on Cade. However, I think there's a gap between like that kind of fringe back end of the top 10 area and like a guy who can just carry a team to like 50 wins. Like, I don't think Cade is that guy. Maybe he can get there. Maybe he'll do it. He is in the same area. We talked about this with Minnesota with like Anthony Edwards. It's like, I think he's closer to that. I think he's getting into like that tier of player. But he is not in the tier of like the Jokic's, the Giannis's, the Shea's, the Lukas. Like he's not in that tier yet. Where I say like this guy, if he's healthy all season by himself, is going to make your floor 45 wins. Like that's not where he is yet. However, I do think he's just a phenomenal player, and is going to be in the conversation for All NBA at the end of the year, and. So for that reason, I don't want to say under because like I think Cade is going to be awesome next year. I'm interested to see like what is Jaden Ivey because they kind of took off without him, and like does him coming back help you? Can they figure it out long term? Does it take a while to figure it out? And early, it's kind of clunky. Like you said, there's a lot of new pieces coming in. I like what they did last year, but I do think I would probably lean under, but this is just a stay away from me because again, like there are wins to be had at the top of the East, but like for me, this is just kind of a stay away, see what happens. I think they're in that group along with Atlanta that are jockeying to move up from the play-in battle to like home court advantage battle.
Yeah, I think it's not as enthusiastic as my Memphis overplay, but I like the Denver. I'm sorry, I like the Detroit under, and it has to do with what I said before. I think that because of the Beasley off-court stuff, people are discounting how good he was last year. I think he is like considerably better than Duncan Robinson, and I say that as a Michigan guy. I think Beasley is a lot better than him.
Yep.
Karras is good. I like Karis LeVert. He'll help them, but also you talk about Dennis. I think the version that they got of Dennis is better than Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, no, I think in impacting wing right now because like again,
and maybe Ivey's better. That's the thing. Like
I just don't know what he is.
Right. When I said earlier that they got worse, I don't mean that as an overall team because I think their roster depth overall, like what they did coming in and going out, was worse, and they're going to hope the way they can offset that or improve on it would be the jump from Cade, or who had a big jump last year. If he's right. better, if Duran's better. If Ivey's better, if Ron Holland is decent this year, which could happen, I like Ron Holland. Like they have the internal improvement guys, but between Beasley, like Tobias Harris was good last year. Yep. Like that may not happen again. I'm not a huge skeptic, but like 46.5, like I probably had them around where I had them last year, which is 44 wins.
44, so like, 45. Yeah. That's why for me, it's a lean under again. Like I could see where they get there, but yeah,
no, I can too. If Ivey's good, if they get Cade at least as good as last year, if not better, like, yeah, I could see 48 pretty easily.
But again, it's like, do you see, like with 46.5, you kind of have to see 50, 52 as like a semi-realistic.
And I don't really see that. Yeah, I think there are more under outcomes than over outcomes with the Pistons. All right, to the Milwaukee Bucks, a weird one. 42.5 is the number, according to our friends at FanDuel for Milwaukee. They won 48 games last year. Now, they were a little bit fortunate with the underlying stuff. They also have Giannis, which is helpful. But the big thing is, of course, Damian Lillard played 58 games last year. He's not going to play any games this year. And also, they had 80 games of Brook Lopez. And he didn't come through the door. Now, they did replace Brook Lopez with Miles Turner, of course.
Who's better.
But probably so, for sure.
In this current form.
But that's kind of all they added Cole Anthony, they brought in Amir Coffey, Gary Harris. Like, they don't really do a ton. I mean, they're a little deeper than they were last year, I think. But that's kind of it. So it's almost like, do you want to go off last year at all? And I'm kind of tempted not to, because Dame was so important to what they were doing, and there's just nothing like Dame on this roster now. Like, it's Kevin Porter Jr. Like,
my question is, and this is like, when I look at this Bucks team, what I'm fascinated by is, like, could there be, like, losing Dame is obviously huge. He's obviously an excellent player. He's all-star. But it was very clear that him and Giannis just never clicked.
No, it didn't work.
It was very clear that they were operating on, they wanted to each do different things. It's not addition by subtraction. I don't want to go that far with the Dame thing. But I do think the drop-off might not be as big as it could be, just because there's going to be clarity on what you're trying to do. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to run through Giannis. You're not trying to tiptoe around and keep Dame happy and try to keep Giannis happy and have – basically, it was like two different offenses when one was on the floor and one wasn't. And when they were both on the floor, you're kind of – it felt very muddled. I could see a situation where just being able to run through Giannis clarifies what they're trying to do, clarifies roles for everyone else. I think you need that with a lot of the guys on this roster. Like, if you can clarify Torian, this is what you do. Kyle Kuzma, this is what you do. Miles Turner, this is what you do. Gary Trent, this is what you like. You need to be able to say, guys, this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Again, like, the point guard situation is just a big question, but Giannis is enough of an initiator that they can kind of maneuver their way through. But 42.5 just seems low for a team with Giannis. Like, I understand why it is where it is. I know the rest of the roster does not have the high-end talent, but I think him and Miles Turner are a really, really good fit on both ends of the floor, better than what the most recent version of Brook Lopez was. And yeah, I could just see this. I could see this still working okay enough. And like, Giannis is so good. He played 67 games last year. Like,
yeah, I mean, this whole thing is, I mean, it's not this easy, but if Giannis plays 70 games, it's probably going to go over.
I think they go over.
If he doesn't, though, the problem is,
well, sure. No, I mean, like, there's a scenario where he plays 50 and they don't come close.
No, and that's not, I mean, the nights where Giannis is out is when I'm like, I don't want to see this team being not competitive. I mean, competitive's too far, but I mean, they have a lot of names, like KPJ's on this team. I mean, Kyle Kuzma was terrible last year.
He was awful. But again, like, I don't know who really thrives between Dame and Giannis when they're operating the way they were. We've seen Kyle Kuzma be good in a secondary role. Now, maybe he just doesn't want to do that anymore. Maybe he's completely disengaged. I don't know.
I'm out.
But like, if you're trying to come up with the optimist view of the Bucks, it is everybody's role is going to be clear. What the goal is going to be clear. How we're going to get there is going to be clear.
Yeah, and also
I think there's a world that helps.
Doc is for all of Doc's faults, and he has some, Doc is usually good at winning regular season games.
He's a floor raiser.
That's what I mean.
He's always been a floor raiser.
And this number is modest enough.
Ceiling lower, but
right. People are rightly discounting them because of Dame not being there. But I wouldn't bet the under. I think if you're betting the under, you need Giannis to get hurt. And I don't, at least not seriously, all for the whole. I think it's a lean over. I would not touch this though, personally.
Yes.
I wouldn't.
No, but I lean over because like Giannis is so good.
Yeah, Giannis is still ridiculous, and that's what it comes down to. The NFL season is here. FanDuel has an offer that you absolutely do not want to miss. And right now, if you are a new customer with FanDuel, bet just $5, you get $300 in bonus bets if you win that first bet. That's right. Pick a bet right now, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the FanDuel app. FanDuel is great in so many different ways. And one reason is that it actually fits how you like to bet on sports, whether it's player props, parlays, same game parlays perhaps, straight bets, whether it's point spreads, over-unders, money lines, etc. They have futures, even live betting as the action unfolds. It makes watching football or basketball or baseball even more exciting when you have a little bit something extra riding on the action. They have all sports you can think of across the board, football to the NBA, of course, we talk about all the time on this podcast. Plus, they have baseball, they have hockey, golf, tennis, soccer, both domestic leagues, international leagues, etc. They have F1, they have NASCAR, boxing, MMA, and so much more. Whether you're a casual fan or just someone who loves loving the stats, perhaps, FanDuel makes it the whole gaming experience so much better for you. FanDuel is quick, it's easy, and they are fast to pay out when you win. It's the best possible way to add a little bit more energy to your game days. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app and get started today. Another team that has injury and overhaul stuff, the Indiana Pacers, the reigning Eastern Conference champions, have a 37.5 win projection at FanDuel. That's a wild thing to say. The reigning conference champions who didn't suddenly go into a rebuild are projected for 37.5 wins. Obviously, we know why. But they won 50 games last year. That actually was well above their underlying numbers. Like this is like probably like a mid-40s win team by the numbers. And then, of course, as we all know, they just caught lightning in the bottle, and it was just they were a machine for 3 months, even before the playoffs. But they lose Miles Turner, which was a shocker. And when it happened, still I'm surprised by that happening.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do much at all, other than they added Jay Huff, who's pretty good, but he's not Miles Turner.
He will do a reverse dunk every game,
and he can kind of shoot a little bit anyway. But we all know we buried the lead. But Tyrese Halliburton is out and not playing at all. So I will say this: historically, Halliburton's on-off splits like last year were not actually that big. Like it wasn't like a Jokic situation where they couldn't function without Halliburton. But he also sets the culture for them. Like he sets the way they play. There's that aspect of things. They do have. Of all the teams to lose a point guard, they're probably best suited because they have Andrew Nembhard and TJ McConnell, who are both like real players. But still, Halliburton not being there is a big thing. So it's 37.5 juice to the under, by the way, not even juice to the over. What do you think about this? It's a very, very modest number for a team that has this coach and depth and all those things.
Yeah, well, and we didn't even Pascal Siakam was awesome last year. There's an argument that he was their best player.
And he always plays too. He's very durable.
I think I can make an argument Pascal Siakam's the Pacers' best player, even when Halliburton's in the lineup.
I mean, and he was already doing the preseason mini camp pep talk that I'm sure we all saw on social media. Like he might be the leader of the team as well.
And and that's the thing you mentioned the culture. And this is not to say Halliburton's not an awesome player who Halliburton makes them the dynamic team that can make the finals. But Siakam, again, kind of a floor raiser. You have Siakam with talent around him and space around him, the thing that Toronto refused to ever do for him. And I'm not going to get started on. I won't do it.
We'll save Toronto for later. It's fine.
But there's still talent here. The biggest concern for me is Miles Turner leaving. What does the center rotation even look like?
I mean, I know what it looks like. It's Isaiah Jackson off of a long-term injury.
Yeah.
It's Jay Huff. And is
it Big Jim still there?
Tony Bradley, Big Jim. I mean, they don't have a lot of anything. I mean, maybe an Obi Toppin small ball unit every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that. Pascal's played, but
same with Jarris Walker. Jarris Walker can play some small ball center, maybe. I don't know, but it's rough.
Rick Carlisle is going to get funky with some lineups. I know that
for sure.
There's going to be some gross stuff in there, but yeah,
I am very conflicted.
This is a lean over, but because of the center situation, I'm terrified of it. But
yes,
if you had a legit if you just had a legit like mid-tier starting 5,
yeah,
I would be hammering it.
No,
I
so
kind of love this team with Nembhard, Mathurin, Siakam, Toppin, and
Mathurin. So
Nesmith.
You allude
in
to
the regular season,
right? Why I'm conflicted here is I have several things on both sides. Several things, like the data will tell you that they're not that much worth without Halliburton, and I think the perception of the drop off is bigger than the actual drop off.
Correct.
Which means in a vacuum, I'd be leaning to the over because of that. But you already mentioned the center point. They don't have a center of any consequence.
No,
I am not a Mathurin guy. And I generally did not believe that they were as good as they were playing last year. Now they did it. They found the magic. It happened. I'm not discounting that. It was great. It was fun. Yeah. I generally don't believe that they're quite as good as that looked at times last year in the regular season.
But they don't have to be.
But you're right. That's the other thing.
That's my thing. Like, they just have to be a 500 team, and they smoke this.
They have a great coach too, and so that's what I'm saying. There's so many on different sides, like conflicting things for me, to where I wouldn't bet the under because I trust Carlisle, I trust Siakam, the depth, but also like there's stuff on the other side where I'm like not eager to bet. Like
I understand.
And honestly, Andrew Nembhard is a guy that I know why people like him, and I do too. In the regular season, he's never been particularly good.
That's fair.
Like I mean, the numbers are what they are. But him and McConnell is a real point guard rotation. It's fine.
It is.
So throw it all in the stew. I would lean over. I wouldn't hammer it.
No,
I don't think. But I also couldn't.
I'm not like if you.
I'm not betting the under on this. No way. Couldn't do it. Now, maybe they find religion.
Center,
like maybe
they might trade some folks.
If it's not going well, there's an argument for them to be like, you know what, we're going to do the half season dip, and that would be tough for an over. But I think it'll be
another reason to be scared of it. But yeah, but also the Pacers have never even done that.
They don't do
ever.
That.
They don't do it. So like it would have to be. That would have to. I honestly think it would have to be Siakam gets hurt for them to even consider it.
That would probably be the way.
Just organizationally,
they've
never done. It would have to be somebody's hurt.
Yeah,
because they've never done that, not once.
So we're leaning over.
Salute to the Pacers for
they compete
constantly trying to compete and finding ways every once in a while to have like a really good team. Like
I don't want to salute Pacers ownership for never ever spending a dime.
Well, no, don't salute them for that.
But the rest of the organization,
everybody that works in the organization underneath ownership.
Kevin Pritchard's good at his
unbelievable job of what they do.
Absolutely. All right, one more team in the Central, and it is the Chicago Bulls. Interesting team. I will say of the bottom feeders, like there's divisions have a bunch, like they're not a bottom feeder like a division. Some of these divisions have.
No, they're not.
The Bulls are not that.
9 seed.
They have a 32.5 win over under at FanDuel. Last year they won 39.
They sure did.
And they didn't lose a lot from last year's team.
No.
They did make the Lonzo Okoro trade, but Lonzo played 35 games last year.
Yeah, he wasn't playing a ton.
And all they did other than that was draft a guy in the lottery and Noah Gay, and that's kind of it. Like, this is the same team.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, Robbie. This isn't quite a Memphis for me, but this isn't over for me. Like, it's not even particularly close because
we've done this.
Constantly. Well, and it's similar to the Pacers in some ways, but one way is the Bulls do not seem to have any inclination to rebuild or reset or try to lose. And if you have that plus the same roster as last year and Billy Donovan, who is a regular season winning games coach, why would they be who they
just extended?
Right. Why would they be seven wins
worse? When was the last time a guy got extended with an under 500 record in the NBA? Like an extended period.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange. I also think it's also one where even and you know some of these people like I do, Bulls fans who I think are rightly furious about the way that the Bulls handle things.
Ricky O'Donnell.
Let's say Ricky, Brian Schroeder, like people that we know that are Bulls fans. They're right, but also they're not mad about Donovan.
No, Billy's fine. Yeah, Billy.
It's not Billy's
I think
fault.
everybody knows Billy's a good coach.
That's what I'm saying.
It just is funny. Like we see like Mike Malone get boot. Michael Malone.
Sorry, that's Michael, sir. His full name.
Michael Malone, Mike Brown. Like you see these coaches getting fired, and then it's like Billy 6 more years. It's just funny. Like
no, you're right. For me, this is not always this simple, but I don't know why they would be 7 wins worse than they were last year.
I agree.
I don't get it.
I agree. And I've done this with the Bulls in the past. Like everybody, it's like, oh, you like I'm like, I don't like the Bulls.
No, I don't like the Bulls.
I don't like that the Bulls are. I don't think the Bulls are like a threat in the Eastern Conference. But no one has more desire to get that sweet play-in game revenue than Jerry Reinsdorf.
If you wanted to make an argument, okay, I'll do it. If you wanted to make an argument for the under, and I'm not saying I'm going to take the under, I wouldn't. It would be based around Vucevic, because he was like he shot the crap out of the ball last year.
After like 40% or something.
2 years ago, he was terrible.
He was,
and then last year he decided to make every shot. So if he regresses, that would knock off a few wins because he's their only guy. I mean, they have Zach Collins too, but they also offset that with like, Buzella should be better. He should be a year better. Not even I'll just say your line. Growth's not always linear, but he should be better in year 2. Yep. They have a bunch of like depth in the backcourt. Like Trey Jones is a guy who's like a real basketball player. Javon Carter is still there.
Ayo.
Obviously, Kobe White and I would assume are still there. Kevin Huerter is still there. Isaac Okoro is there. They have
I forgot Kevin Huerter.
And they have so many guys. I mean, Patrick Williams is not very good, but I don't think that short of a Vucevic like return to 2 years ago, and even then they could probably still go.
I think they can still do it.
I don't get there. I get why the number is where it is. It's not an exciting bet to make, but
here's why the number's where it is like I think people don't believe that their second half was real last year.
And I don't either, for the record.
However, that second half can still happen again because they're going to try when everybody else quits.
That is correct.
Like that's what the Bulls do. Like it's not like everybody's like, oh, the second half was a fluke. Dude, they can fluke the second half to 35 wins every year because they're the only ones trying.
I was about to ask you this question to wrap up the Bulls. Like, what would you pick for a win total for the Bulls?
35 and a half.
I'm like right there, 35, 36. And that's
if you put 35 and a half, I'd be like, great number, stay away.
Yeah, exactly. So, and
32 and a half.
That is not inspiring.
Doesn't want to tank.
Right. That's 3 wins above where the number is. Then that 3 wins, if you're 3 wins above the number, that's a solid bet. So we are on the Bulls on the over.
What a great sentence that is.
We are on the Bulls.
Love to say we are on the Bulls.
Sorry, Ricky, if you're listening. Our apologies. Maybe the Bulls will get lucky one year and it'll have it all fall apart. And they'll actually get a high lottery pick. But until then, we
can't wait to see who they pick 8th next year.
I mean, Noah Essengay is like not going to help them win. But whatever. He won't play anyway. He won't play a lot anyway. So who cares? No. All right, Robbie. That's all we have for the Central Division. Thank you for being here as always. A couple more of these to come. Stay tuned if you're listening to this whenever it's dropping. We appreciate it. Follow Robbie at our Kalland, CBS Sports, the Puntcast, golf, football, etc., basketball even, as you're contributing to round tables and things on CBS Sports.
Sure am.
As for everybody else, please subscribe to Locked On Hawks, and we'll see you all next time.